Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm gonna give you an update on the Civic build. It's not a huge update. I mean, to this point, I've waited a little too long to update you guys on what's going on with it. I just wanted to have like a big update and a lot of work done, and it's just the part I'm at of the build is kind of slow. I need to make sure I have everything, and the parts that I don't have are kind of limiting me to putting the car back together. So really right now I needed to stop and focus on making sure I had what I needed and kind of getting a game plan there. So I'm going to kind of explain that, and also I'm going to start filming a little differently. I'm going to film more of just smaller updates, because I really feel like I wanted to wait until there was a big update, and if I do that, I feel like I'm never going to post anything, and you guys might lose interest. I know it causes me to lose interest a lot, so let's get on to what's going on with the car. So the bay, you guys saw, that's where we left off, is done. I started putting some of the grommets in. I ordered some new ones from Honda. Everyone I could get from Honda I ordered. Some of them are on back order and some of them are coming slowly, so hopefully I get those soon. I started to clean up the new chassis harness I got and put it in for the B series stuff, and this is the OBD1 chassis harness, so that should be a lot better than the OBD0 one I had before. Just cleaned it up a little bit, started routing it, and I did undercoat the whole car. I undercoated the wheel wells, and let me see if you can see the underneath is all nicely undercoated. I took all the brake lines and stuff off. I also did like a flat black SEM like rock chip coating on the front core support, so when you look through, you don't see the white behind the bumper. So show you from the back of the car, the undercoating job. It turned out pretty good, so I'm happy with that. I can start putting the brake lines and stuff back on. I did put the harness inside a little bit. I didn't put the dash stuff in yet, so that's where I'm kind of at with that. I need some of the clips for back here too, but it's getting there slowly. I had to take this off, start to put it back on, because I did take the trim pieces off so I could buff the car better and paint correct it. And then I have all the new trim and stuff from Honda to put on it whenever I do start that process. That'll be towards the end. I did mess up a little with the tape. When I taped the line for the undercoating on the tunnel, I ripped the tape off and it took some paint, so must have not adhered really good right there. But luckily, I'm going to touch it up just so it doesn't rust, but the subframe covers most of that, so you'll never see it. I know it's there though, so I figure I'd tell you guys it's there. So the other thing I wanted to go through is the hardware is the biggest thing. I have been trying to decide what I want to do with the hardware. At first, I wanted to do super traditional and kind of do everything factory, but it's a lot of different finishes and it kind of bothered me. Nothing seemed cohesive. It just seemed like it was like thrown together. So a lot of like Honda guys with the older Hondas, Honda used a lot of zinc coated bolts, yellow zinc coated bolts, and everybody kind of likes them. I really used to be happy when I used to find a car like that had clean zinc bolts, and I used to keep them in buckets and stuff and use them on different things. So I wanted to do the whole car with all fresh yellow zinc coated bolts. So I picked through the bolts I had and got the good ones that weren't corroded. Most of the bolts on the car weren't corroded, which I was really surprised with the age of the car. But I got most of the bolts here ready to go. I had to order some, so that's what's taken so long. I made like 2 orders and forgot a bunch of bolts, and then realized afterwards that I forgot them. So thank you, Chris at iRun OEM. He has been super helpful. I know I've probably been a pain, making so many different orders. Like literally like 2 days after I made an order, I realized I forget something and make another order. But really, if you need anything OE Honda related, hit him up. He's an enthusiast just like us, and he has a beautiful Type R. But he's definitely a good guy to deal with and will do everything he can to help you find what you need. So he's definitely taking care of me, especially with this car. So I look forward to doing more with him in the future for other builds. And thanks again, Chris. So shout out to him. But here's the bolts that I have ready to go. So like I said, some of these are new. These are for the torque mounts and stuff. So I'm just gonna send those. I want them all to be this color. So it's like a yellow zinc, people call it tri-coat. I'm gonna do a lot of different things. So I'm doing like all like the hose connections for the motor, the plugs, the blocks for the subframe, cam gears. These are extra, so I figured I'm gonna do these, might as well. Since I did buy new ones from Honda to put on the car, I was like, man, it might be cool to have a set that's zinc coated. I'm gonna do the coolant pipe, some other brackets, exhaust parts, hose clamps. Pretty much every bolt on the car will get done. So that's what kind of took me a long time, was the car's completely apart and I had to go through boxes and boxes. I boxed everything up as I took it apart, so I had to make sure I had everything. So I think I do, for the most part. All the hose clamps and stuff I'm gonna get done. So these will all be coated. I'm gonna probably send them out next week when I get the last of the new bolts that I need to send with them, because the company that coats that I found, you have a minimum weight of 100 pounds. So it's like $120 to coat 100 pounds of hardware. Everything has to be under 12 inches, he told me. So everything pretty much is here. So I have like 60 or 70 pounds right now. So I started throwing extra stuff in that I was like, it might be cool to be coated. Even if I don't use it, I'll still have it. I'm paying for it anyway. So it should turn out pretty good. He said it should be like 3 to 5 day average turnaround time. So as soon as I send them out, they should be back within 2 weeks, I would say. So unfortunately, I have to ship them. They're not a local company, but a lot of Honda guys have used them, and they say they're good company. The subframe is the next thing I was going to show you guys. Turned out pretty clean. I was actually surprised there was like no corrosion. There's a little bit where the blocks sit, but I mean, the blocks are bare, so it was given that those were going to leave a little mark, but literally no other spots there are any corrosion. So it does have a little dirt right there, but that'll come off. I'll just gotta clean it up a little better. So then I'm just going to bolt it on like this. I was going to like get it powder coated or paint it myself, and I just was like, you know what, it's actually pretty cool that it looks super clean from the factory. So that's the plan for that. Here's the gas tank. This is from a US car, because my car had the single cam that was dual carb, and it was a mechanical fuel pump. So that was mounted to the back of the head and ran off the cam. So it never had a fuel pump in the tank, and the way the tank was made, it was just too hard to convert. So, and I didn't want to run it inline. I wanted it to be super clean like factory. So that's kind of why I went with the new chassis harness. And then I found a tank from a 92 SI, and my plan is to just clean this up, throw it under there, and I'll show you. I wanted to do a full factory line to the fuel filter, but after messing with it for a while, it looks like most of the parts aren't available anymore, unfortunately, for these cars, and I wanted brand new. So I came up with the next best solution, and I will kind of explain that real quick. So with these old lines right here, I can't buy this new, and I can't find one clean enough. So the other part is the factory line isn't the same as a fuel injected one. So I'd have to make an adapter line, and I just don't want to do that. Too much of a chance for it to leak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get an AN-6 banjo bolt, use it, or banjo, put the banjo bolt in it, come up with a -6 line, and then get a hard line adapter for, I forget which one it is. It's one of these lines. I think it's this one. Get a hard line adapter for here, so then it's all sealed and tight. It'll be under the car, so you won't ever see it. I just don't want any problems because I really do plan on driving the car. Then the next part is the fuel lines come up, and they don't come up high enough on the firewall for where the fuel filter sits. So there's like a piece of line that you need. So what I was going to do is run another hardline adapter with a -6 screw-in adapter to the bottom of the filter and run a little piece of -6 line. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed I have to do it that way. I have tried to search a few times for another set of lines, fuel lines for the car, the hard line that goes from the back to the front. I really can't find any that are clean, and the ones that came from the car are really clean. So I'm just gonna clean them up. They're just dirty, and I'm gonna do it that way. I mean, it's not the OEM way I wanted to do it, but it's something you're not gonna see, and it'll be done right so I can drive the car and not have to worry about it. And if I do find some factory lines, maybe I'll do it in the future, but we'll see. Or if anybody has a hookup where I could get the full factory lines, let me know. I mean, I would go the used route if they're super clean, or brand new. I mean, just let me know what you guys got if there's anything out there. So next thing is wheels. So I have 2 sets of wheels right now for the car, and the plan is to get them both recoated, and they're both the same specs. So they're both 15x7 plus 35. So here they are. So these are obviously the infamous TE37. So I've always loved these wheels, so I knew I wanted a set of these for the car right away. This finish, at first I wanted black, but this finish is actually really growing on me. They just were used, I think on like track day stuff, so they do have some like buildup of brake dust and stuff, so that's eaten into the paint. So they do need refinish to be perfect. So I'm gonna refinish them. I tried to match this color with the powder coater, and certain lights it has like a blue tint to it. So unfortunately I'm not gonna be able to match it perfectly, but I think I found a color that's really close. So there'll be like a titanium gunmetal again, but black stickers. So it'll be black and white Vulcan rays, and then black valve stems. So those will be one set of wheels for it, and then I'm going to do a 195/50 15-inch tire on it. I like the smaller tire, plus with the sizing I want to be able to go low with the car and not worry about it rubbing. So a 195 over a 205 is going to be, I think, the ticket there. And then these, a lot of people might not know what these are. These are OZ Starlights, they call them. They're a very interesting wheel. I got them off a buddy, and the first time I saw them I fell in love with them on his EF, so I had to have them. So I worked out a deal with them. Took a while, but I really am happy I got these. These kind of make the car. I wanted a set of wheels for it that not too many people have or know about, so these were definitely a must-have. So I'm going to refinish these in gloss white and do the decal in red again. This wheel does have a little bit of curb damage, but the powder coater said no issue to fix it. So these will be probably the main wheels I'm going to run. I might do something a little different and run one side these, since they are the same spec, and I think it'd be cool to just have 2 different looks on the car at the same time. So, but I think that's really it. I mean, that's the major updates that I have. Right here is the rear trailing arms that I'm gonna rebuild. I'm gonna clean them up to see if the factory paint is as good as the subframe is, but I'll probably end up repainting them. I got hard race rubber bushings for them. The aluminum rear drum covers that are finned for it. So those will be nice, all hard race. Camber, toe arms with the hard rubber. And then this is the rack that came off the car. I do have a DC2 ITR power steering rack for it, so it's a better ratio, and that's going to be rebuilt and put in the car as well. So that's it. That's really the main updates. Hopefully, like I said, in the next 2 weeks I can have the bolts refinished in my hand, and then the car should start to come together really quick. I can, once I have the bolts, I can put the motor back together and really start moving on the car. That's pretty much, like I said, the hardware, you can't put it together without bolts, and literally every bolt on the car is getting redone. So I had no choice. I've tried to tinker around a little bit with the harness and stuff, but I kind of got to a point where I needed to make a decision on what I was going to do, and there it is. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we get some more updates on this car soon. So until next time.